It has been a couple of weeks since I've been able to do one of these live broadcasts, and I'm super inspired to be here with you today. You are watching a rebroadcast of, not a rebroadcast, a simulcast of an open Q&A that I hold for my masterminds. And you can see in the lower right corner of the screen, you can see the little Zoom icon there. I am taking the Zoom call that I do with them on Fridays, and I'm bringing it to you live. Now, you might be watching this on a replay, and if that's true, that's cool as well. If it's not, here's how to know if you're watching this on a replay, because I get a lot of people asking me that. Is this live? Well, it's live as I'm recording it, but if you're watching this thing and it's not between 12 p.m. and 1 p.m. on Friday in the New York time zone, the Eastern time zone, then you're watching a replay. But that's still cool. It's going to be the same content. It's not going to change when it goes from live to replay. If you want to ask me anything, you can ask me anything in the chat. If you're watching this on the replay, you can, of course, ask me in the comments. What's up? I see some people joining. Thanks for being here. So questions in the chat for now. And again, you are watching a simulcast of a live call that I'm doing with people who are in my masterminds. If it sounds compelling to you to brainstorm with me about how you grow your business and how you attract clients, and you want some of the direct advice that I would give people in my mastermind, well, I'd love to brainstorm with you on a call. And you can do that by going to my last name. That's Prouty.me. I was born with that last name. Just go to Prouty.me and you can brainstorm with me about getting clients into your business. Not a sales call in disguise. Don't worry. I'll sell to you if you ask me to, but if you don't ask me to, probably not going to sell to you. I'll probably just tell you about what I do, and then you can decide. No matter what, you'll get access to a ton of great content, and I'm going to give you some direct advice on some things that you can start doing right now. So a question that has come up is about the use of short form video content. So topic 1, short form content. So short form content is changing and shifting. The way we used to see short form content, it was like 30 seconds. When short form video content first started, it was like 30 seconds or less. And then the platforms would only allow you, the short form video platforms would only allow 30 seconds. And then it changed and we got to a minute. So short form content turned into a minute. You could do up to 60 seconds. And so that was cool. And then we saw short form content platforms emerge and then go away. What were some of the early short form ones? I can't remember. You guys here on the Zoom call, do you remember some of the early short form video ones? I can't remember their names. But now we've got TikTok, we've got Lemon 8, if that's still around. Trev, is Lemon 8 still around? You are all over that one, if I remember correctly. And so, oh, you left it. Yeah, me too, kind of. And then we started to go beyond the 1 minute time frame. And so then we saw YouTube introduce YouTube Shorts, and YouTube Shorts, they had to be a minute or less. But then just in the past couple of months, YouTube Shorts are now longer. Trev got banned from Lemonade. It's probably just because you're they don't want people as cool as you on Lemonade. So now YouTube short form content is longer than a minute. So you can go longer. And on TikTok, you can go longer too. Did you see that? I just opened this to take a drink and I forgot. So you can do short form content is becoming longer. So what is your short form content strategy? So let's talk about a content strategy for short form content. I generally like to focus on 2 types of content across all modalities. I like to focus on educational content, which is long form. As we would say in Massachusetts, it's wicked long form. And somebody said that they heard that TikTok is now focusing on content that's longer than a minute. So here's what's going to happen. Here's what you're going to see happen on TikTok. And all the socials are kind of learning from all the other socials. And we know this because we see the trends emerge. So two types of content: educational content and inspirational content. Just call them that for simplicity's sake. Inspirational content is also bonding content. It's content that is going to create a bond with you and your audience. To create a bond with your audience, short form video is perfect for that. And I begrudgingly went onto TikTok because I grew my business to where it's extremely profitable on LinkedIn. And I was like, hey, LinkedIn's working great. Just going to keep doing it. And then about 3 years ago, I was late to the YouTube game, but I decided to come over to YouTube to see if I could apply the same strategies that I applied on LinkedIn over onto YouTube. Surprise, they worked. Not surprised, because everything works the same. So I applied what I learned on LinkedIn to YouTube and made and continue to make a ton of profitability from YouTube. So nearly doubled my profitability just by expanding to a separate platform. But I didn't really see a need to go to TikTok. And then some of the people in the mastermind were like, just try it. They kind of dared me to try it. So this year I started TikTok. And I'm only using short form content on TikTok. And that short form content is inspirational bonding type content. Well, what happened? My TikTok channel starts to grow and I start to get leads and I start to get clients from TikTok, but not doing what you see here and what the mastermind sees, doing something completely different, because on TikTok, an entirely new audience emerged who needed something different that I could fulfill. It's a splinter of what I offer the Radius of Impact Mastermind, but it's not the full thing. And so for me, the first thing that you want to do with short form content is use it to bond with your audience. And we use it to bond with the audience by letting them know that we're kind of the same as them, that we have the same struggles and we're going after the same things. We fight the same fights and we have the same goals. So point number one, short form content. Let's use short form content to bond with our audience. Second tip for short form content in your short form content strategy is to use it to promote longer pieces of content. So we'll talk about long form content in a few moments and where you should use that. But you can use short form content as a feeder source for your long form content. And so then a lot of people are going to say, well, I don't like long form content. I don't have time and I don't have an attention span. So let me ask you this question, business owners and entrepreneurs. Do you feel like someone with a short attention span is going to get a great result from you? Or do you need people who can focus and pay attention to things for them to get a result from you? Just think about that for just a moment, no matter what you do. You know, there's somebody on the inside call right now that sells life insurance. That is a very involved process. And you need to be able to sit with someone for a long period of time to understand their needs to be able to recommend the right product for them. The person who can't focus on something for more than 30 seconds and they can't give you the time that you need, right? Jennifer says it too. She needs people to be able to sit and relax for a long period of time. So long form content does a couple of things. First, it demonstrates your expertise and your authority. That's very helpful because somebody who's not an expert and who's not an authority can't create long form content. And if you think that AI is going to produce long form content that demonstrates your expertise and your authority, you're believing a lie. You're believing a lie because it can't. AI cannot replicate your expertise. Even if you feed AI all of your expertise, it's not going to replicate it the way you are. And as I've shown you on previous calls, the response when you create content like that, the response that I see over and over again everywhere online is, I'm so sick of AI generated content. I think I showed it last week or 2 weeks ago on this call, where there is this wave of people that are getting that they're able to tell AI generated content, first of all, and they're getting really sick of the flood of AI generated content that's just generic. That's our second topic that we're going to talk about today is personalizing AI generated content. So long form content builds your expertise and your authority, but it also acts as a filter. I do not, under any circumstances, want to work with someone that has a very short attention span. I can't get that person results because to grow, if you, there are two kinds of business people. There are two kinds of business owners, two kinds of entrepreneurs. The people who want enough money to pay their mortgage and their car and get groceries and go out to dinner once a month. That's one kind of entrepreneur. I can't help that person because that way of thinking doesn't work in my brain. And then there's the person that wants to sacrifice everything and will do whatever it takes to generate a lot of money, like life-changing for your family, for your kids, for your parents, like that kind of money. That's the person I want to work with. The person who wants the dabbling hobbyist kind of money, I can't help them because my brain doesn't understand why you don't want to go beyond. I want to help the person that wants to do some real damage, that wants to have real impact, that wants to be seen as the authority. That's who I can help. That person can consume long form content. The other person is like, oh, they use all the labels, they use all the excuses. Oh, I've got ADHD. Oh, I've got this. Oh, this happened to me. Oh, my gym teacher said this to me when I was 8 years old. And oh, I can't focus for more than 30 seconds. Good. You'll never get a good offer. You'll never get an offer from me. My offers are in my long form content. Okay, so short form content, feeder source for the long form content. Long form content builds expertise, builds authority, shows that you can be trusted, and filters out the people who aren't going to get great results from you. It's not that I don't want to work with people with short attention spans. It's that I can't help them. And if I can't help somebody, I don't want to take their money. I don't want to take their money because they're not going to do the work. I see it. I see people who are afraid to do the work, and I watch them fail. And it's not right for my business because my business is designed to have impact on people. Okay, so first reason that we want to use short form content is to inspire and to bond with people. The second reason we want to use short form content is to use it as a feeder source for long form content or for some sort of an offer that we have. The third reason that you might want to use short form content is to expand your reach. Short form content, if you look at YouTube, just do a search for anything on YouTube. The top hits are always going to be the short form content. You're always going to see short form content mixed there. YouTube is really trying to spread it's spreading short form content more readily than long form content. So you're going to hit a whole new audience by using short form content. Hold on, I'm just typing a private, somebody messaged me privately. I just want to answer them privately. There we go. So there's a lot of benefits to using short form content. Everything from you get a more highly engaged audience because it's just that stuff that everybody can consume. If you feed people to longer form content, now you're going to get behavioral indicators of interest that people want to work with you because they engage the long form content. Short form content is highly shareable. People love to just go through the short form content platforms and, oh, I like that, share it with somebody. You can engage people very quickly. You can make a nice emotional connection with them. And you can expand your audience. Yeah, does that make sense? Some other good reasons to use short form content. I don't want to use the A word when it comes to the platforms. I don't want to talk about the algorithm. I can just tell you that social media, especially TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and even LinkedIn to some aspects, will prioritize short form content over long form content. So you have a higher chance of being discovered, your organic reach goes up. That gives you increased visibility without having to pay to promote yourself. And because, as I mentioned earlier, engagement tends to be better on short form content, the platforms will keep on promoting you. So this makes it a very cost-effective mechanism for getting your face and your message and your product or your service out there. Some other benefits to short form content that I can think of, it's faster and easier to create. My short form content is generally one take without any editing. So I do like that. I don't need a ton of equipment to make it happen. I used to record my short form content from my phone, but now I'm using, this is my weapon of choice for my short form content. You can see that. This is my Sony ZV-E10 right there. Oh, here, let me do it like the influencers. Jennifer, how am I doing? That work? This is what I'm using. My Sony ZV-E10, and I love this camera with just the kit lens that came on it. Did I do okay with that? I see the makeup influencers do this. They hold up the makeup and then they do this. My hand is the backdrop. I use this to shoot my short form content. I put it on a tripod and I set it down right here. And I have a remote that is over there. And I just hit a button on the remote and I just record in one take. So that makes it a little bit more cost effective to create that kind of content. It's gonna keep an eye on the time. And I can very rapidly deploy short form content. So my long form content is 9 to 13 minutes long. That will take me 2 hours to do a 9 to 13 minute video. Between scripting, recording, I don't really have to do any setup because my lights are always set up. So between scripting, recording, editing, subtitling, producing, I can get a 13-minute video done in about 2 hours. So with short form content, I can record and deploy. And different audiences are going to prefer different lengths of content. So we talked about attention spans and how I'm super, you guys know this, I'm just super sour to short attention spans. I think short attention spans are a lame excuse for people. So short form content, there are people that just prefer it. And there are people that will get on your calendar, buy your thing, just after consuming short form content. Nothing to do with their attention span. So it's easy to consume. It's instantly entertaining. If even, I don't know if I'm that entertaining, but it's instantly informative and, all of that. It's versatile. You can use it in all places. Some other things you can do with short form content behind the scenes. You can do like what they call that BTS. I think short form customer testimonials are great. And I have had a lot of luck with short form tutorials. Just doing a quick tutorial, this, and this. I'm not going to, I know what some of you are thinking. Don't worry. I'm going to test out a new short form tutorial sometime soon. Somebody asks, how much scripting do you do? I think I don't have my script from my win the other day. Here's how much scripting I do. You guys in the mastermind know how I organize my videos and how I break down into very specific chunks with a very specific flow. I will write down the title, just the title of each chunk. So like the first chunk is always talking about the problem. So I will just write down what the problem is. At the top of the page, I'll write down the exact title, and then I'll write the problem. And then we want to talk about why it's a problem. So I'll write a sentence for why it's a problem. I don't want to have to read an entire paragraph and try to memorize it and then look at my camera and say that paragraph. I'm better looking at the sentence. So people struggle with let's imagine that the topic, the problem is people struggling with the confidence to make video and put video out. So the problem statement would be, you'd be surprised how many people struggle to create video because they lack the confidence to record themselves. I'll write that down. And so then I will start recording. I'll look at the camera and I'll say, you'd be surprised how many people struggle to create videos for social media because they lack the confidence and they are hesitant to show themselves on camera. And, I can think of a time before I started doing video on social media where I kind of felt the same way. And when I brought the camera up at first and I looked at myself and I started to record myself, it's like, what are you doing? Who's going to even want to watch this? And so that lack of confidence, and this is years and years ago for me, that lack of confidence prevented me from doing video at first. So if you're sitting there and you're feeling like you want to do video, but you're not sure what to do first, and you're not sure if you have the guts to actually do it and put it out there, I know exactly how you feel because I felt the same way. Until I found a methodology that allowed me to do it in a way that boosted my confidence and helped me create content that people actually want to consume and that they love. And that changed everything for me. So I want to talk to you about that today. So that's how I would take a sentence and turn it into the first part of my video. And I just did all of that off the top of my head. As you can tell, I gotta make sure nobody's yelling at me on YouTube. Okay, so that was just all off the top of my head. So that's how I would do that. All right, so that was a ton of insight into short form content. The next topic that has come up is personalizing AI generated content. So here's the thing. No matter how much an AI gets to know you, unless an AI is with you for every second of every day while you're doing what you do, and is listening to every word and watching every action and listening to your inflection and hearing all of your interactions, and then processing that information, an AI can never replicate your expertise and your authority, nor can AI content replicate your personal trustworthiness. So this is what's going to hurt a lot of people and help you if you have awareness to this. This is a copy and paste to what happened during the pandemic when everybody became a coach. And everybody showed up saying, oh, I'm a coach and I can help you do this, having never done it before. They had implied trust because they told you they could do what they said they were going to do. But then once they started doing it, they totally screwed up. They screwed it up. And they couldn't deliver what they said they were going to deliver. They just flat out lied. Well, oh, they're becoming a coach and they're becoming a coach and they're becoming a mentor and they're becoming a trainer. It blows my mind to look at the absolute horrific training that people do with all of these courses that came out from the pandemic to today. I've never seen such terrible training in my life. It's literally instructional malpractice and coaching malpractice when people step forward with no experience in teaching other humans and with no experience in coaching and mentoring other humans and say that they can do it. So what happened? Everybody felt burned by these people. And so many people came to me shy, saying, I've been burned by somebody else. And I'm like, well, that person's an idiot. And you out there watching this, if you're just day one saying you're a coach with no experience in ever coaching people, you're an idiot. And if you've never figured out how to teach other humans, but you're showing up as a teacher, you're an idiot. Stop. Go get a job at Popeyes and serve people chicken. I went by Popeyes the other day and I looked at it. It actually is Pope Yes. I told my kids the name of the restaurant was Pope Yes. That's an aside. That same exact thing is going to copy and paste with AI. Because people are going to go onto AI and they're going to say, "Oh, make me look like a coach, make me look like a trainer, create this training." And then they're going to put that stuff on their socials and people are going to go, "Oh, that seems somewhat trustworthy. I'll hire them." And then they're going to pay them. They're going to pay these people, and these people are going to show up expecting a result that they paid for, and they're going to get absolute crap. Because the AI that you use, the chat GPT that you use to create your content is not going to be there with you when the people need you the most to coach them or teach them or train them or give them a transformation. And sure, there are AIs that will sit there and tell you what to say. So now what are you? You're a man, you're like a living mannequin. You're a marionette. What are those things? It's not a marionette. What is that? You're a ventriloquist dummy. That's what you've become. You've become, I feel bad for the people that just joined on YouTube because I'm yelling. You've become a ventriloquist dummy that's just moving your mouth and other stuff is coming out of it. That's what's happening. And so we're going to have more people feeling burned. And now you guys here on the Zoom, you professionals, you're going to get people coming to you that are terrified. They're terrified to work with you because they've been burned by other people who were ventriloquist dummies. There's got to be a better phrase than that. They're terrified to give you their money because somebody else took it and gave them a terrible result. So you've got to guarantee everything beyond what you could possibly imagine. I got a little heated there. I'll tell you why I got heated. I watched a training video the other day from somebody. I literally sat here and I couldn't speak to them because it was recorded. I left that training dumber than when I started. That's how bad the training was. I left the training dumber than when I started the training. And that's what I want. That's if I could have, I would have said that to them. Your ability to teach is so terrible that I left this training dumber than when I started. I really do get heated about that. But that's what happened. And this was a I paid for this. I paid for this. I have no problem paying for mentors and coaches to teach me stuff I don't know. All right, so we covered two pretty important topics. Short form content. Oh, personalizing AI generated content. So what you've got to do is if you're going to use, actually didn't even cover it. I started yelling about things and I got off track. If you're going to use AI to generate your content, you've got to take that content and you've got to put your own expertise and your own authority and start to build in your own trustworthiness into this thing in order for it to work. And if you don't have the expertise and the authority, you have no business putting that content out. Stop burning people. Stop lying to people. Go get a job doing something else. Go get a job at Starbucks so that I have somebody that can pour my coffee for me. I need you to do that. If you're just going to go out there and lie, I would prefer you just pouring my coffee. Very opinionated, but it's true. Don't lie to people. Don't pretend you're something you're not. Don't even fake it till you make it because you're going to burn people. And then they're going to come to me and they're going to go, "Oh, I got burned by this guy." And and then I can't help them because now they feel terrible. All right, YouTube. That's what I have for guys. I'm going to shut down the YouTube and then I'll close up with you guys privately on the Zoom. YouTube, thanks for hanging out with me here today. I really would encourage you to get on my calendar and brainstorm with me about how to grow your business. I'm going to put that. It's just prouty.me. It's my last name.me. And then I'll put it in the comments below for you guys who are watching this thing on the replay. Just hop on my calendar. I'm not going to try to sell you anything. You already know. You already know if you want to work with me. So hop on my calendar and let's brainstorm about getting you some clients. And thank you for being here on the YouTube today. I'll be back next